Everybody, Dean Young, Home Tech. Hope everybody's having a good day today. I want to real quickly before I get home just go over some things relating to my post yesterday. I just want to make it clear on some things. As far as the standards of practice and the licensing board are concerned, you cannot speak ill of another inspector. As a whole, if I make a comment about other inspectors don't do this or do that, or I'm noticing this about other inspectors, then that's different. But if there's one specific inspector, as in this situation, I'm not going to comment. I'm going to use it all as hearsay between that inspector and the buyer, because I wasn't there. I didn't view the report. I don't want to review the report. And I told the buyer straight up, I don't want to get into any legalities, any bickering back and forth, no using my report to try to throw another inspector under the bus. I'm not about that. Things make mistakes. His inspection was done in June. Mine was done yesterday, August the 9th. There were things that I'm going to mention with the disclaimer. Again, I was not there at the time of the other inspector's inspection. So when I went over my summary, when the buyers yesterday told me that we didn't know about that, when I mentioned, go through my summary, they say, oh, we didn't know about that. These are some things that were mentioned. I'm not going to go through everything, just some bigger things, some concerns. It's going to be 3 of them that I'm going to go through. So, from my understanding, a new roof was put on the property in 2021. I don't know, early 2021, later 2021, I don't know. I know 2021. So, whoever put the roof on, they took a piece of sheathing, and what they done was they covered the thermostatic fan. So you got the fan with a vent to the exterior of the roof. When that fan comes on, it pushes the hot air out. Well, what they done was they covered it up. Well, that fan runs 24/7. No matter how hot, how cold it is. I did not see a thermostat box that should have been on there. I did not see one. So I told the client it's probably hardwired, maybe into one of the other circuits. I don't know. That's not my job. That they would need to get an electrician out there to get the fan shut off or figure out where the load terminates to. Because she mentioned we're having really high power bills and we keep hearing this noise in the attic. We can't figure out what's going on. Well, during my inspection, I noted that fan is just hardwired into something. There's no thermostat to control when it runs, when it don't run. It's just running consistently. It's not blowing anything out because it was covered up. That's a big concern. It could burn up. It could be a fire hazard. It's creating a lot of, it's just storing the hot air around. Could do a fungal growth, or could cause a lot of issues. A ridge vent was put in. It's kind of weird that they put a ridge vent in, but there's still gable in their soffit. Typically, most people will close off the gables, leave the soffit open, the ridge vent open, so it circulates. The air rises, goes up, and then this air comes back up to the soffit, circulates up. I guess it's proven to be a better method of ventilating an attic. Next, moisture intrusion heavy efflorescence noted in the crawl space, the basement area. So in the basement area, there's a finished wall type basement, and then there's another basement, but they're pretty much not finished, but it's more finished than typical. But anyway, so that area, people use dry lock. I've told people do not use dry lock. Don't use dry lock. It creates a lot of problems. Masonry is not made to be painted in those situations. You don't just try to, that's not going to waterproof your basement. Do not use dry lock. All that's going to happen, the salts, the moisture is still going to pass through the wall. It's going to push on that dry lock. It's going to create efflorescence. They're going to flake off all the dry lock that was applied. It's doing nothing. It's causing bigger issues. So I got 40% moisture readings. Yesterday was really dry in the area around the house. No hard rains, no rain that I saw. Nothing to show that there was any rain. So 42% moisture on the walls, and you can see where it was chipping and peeling, but it looked like the paint, it looked like the downstairs was recently painted, as far as back when the home was for sale. The buyers did not apply the dry lock. Move over to the crawl space part. It's a partial crawl space, partial basement. Move over to that area. Usually the first block or two, you may see some moisture entry, some efflorescence, but it got pretty high up the wall. Corners where guttering was, a lot of moisture intrusion, a lot of efflorescence that had been there for a while. This wasn't done in the past 2 months. This home was 1976. You can tell that it's been there for a while. And then the biggest thing was horizontal cracks and shear cracks on the basement foundation walls, perimeter walls, foundation walls, shear cracks all the way through, horizontal cracks that were appearing to get bigger. I saw where some of the dry lock areas that were dry locked, it's starting to separate. You can tell where usually dry lock is pretty thick and you gob it on, it fills in all the voids and stuff. It was starting to crack and separate in areas. Horizontal crack, pretty good, starting to get a little bigger. Moisture on the wall. These three things, the fan, the horizontal cracking, the structural cracking, so forth, and then the moisture intrusion. From what I was told, going over the report with the client, that they did not have any knowledge of that it was not mentioned to them. Again, that is hearsay. I don't know what was in the other inspector's report. I don't care to look at it. I don't care to compare. I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want to be involved in anything. And I explained that to them. And then, well, there was one more thing. So there was, in their living room, there was a big bulge, like a sag in their ceiling. It was like that during the other inspector's inspection, per the buyer's in-law. And the buyer's in-law asked the inspector, is that an issue or concern? And this is hearsay, that he said, no, it's just an old house. Well, so the inspection's done. They closed at some point. I guess they moved some stuff in. They paused. They went on vacation for 1 week. They came back, and once they arrived, got into the property, and that place that was bulged down in the ceiling, above that was their HVAC, their air handler. And what had happened was the condensation had gone into the ceiling and just poured, like I told you guys the other day, 15 to 20 gallons of water in one day. So it poured a large amount of water on their pre-finished hardwood floors, which are now ruined. I walked on it yesterday, and it was horrible. And being that we're in the summer months, which everything is swollen up, when we get into the winter months, when things shrink down, it's really going to start to delaminate and come apart, is my prediction. So I don't know. They had an HVAC person out there, said that there was some improper wiring. The cover plate was missing. There was improper wiring that should have been easily seen and observed, which caused the condensation pump to not function. And I guess that dip was from moisture, causing the ceiling to dip. And while they were on vacation, the system was running, and it just gave way. So those were the things that some of the things they were dealing with. There's more, but I'm not going to get into that. And then real quickly, I'll go over the inspection I had today. Was a hoarder home. The person occupying was a tenant. This was going to be an investment property, and the person living there has been living there 25 years. From my understanding from the buyer, which knows the tenant and knows the landlord, and has offered to buy the home, and she's working with the tenant and slowly getting the pets out of the home, taking them to the Humane Society. They will not take them all in one because it's such a large amount that they're having to take them like every Tuesday, a couple at a time. When I walked in, I was pretty much paralyzed. The smell, I've never experienced anything like this in my life, and I know it can be a sickness. I'm not putting anybody down. People's mental mindset and everything is a lot different, from each other. And so when you get used to certain things, certain smells, and certain circumstances and living conditions, you're used to that. It's you just grow into it. It's part of your lifestyle, who you are, and so forth. So I walked into the kitchen. I had a mask on, I had gloves on, and I stood there for a minute, and my eyes started watering, my nose was burning, and I said, I don't think I can do this. I'm going to have to refund this client the money and just walk away. I can't do this. And then a voice in my head said, take a bunch of overview pictures, open cabinets, take pictures underneath, take pictures of all the appliances, sinks, faucets underneath, ceilings, walls, floors, every place you can see, get to, go under the house, same thing, exterior, roof, be done. that's what I done. So I've got a crap load of pictures that I've got to go through and pair them up with a narrative. This was like an inspection of a different kind, not my typical normal how I do it. So I gotta get these pictures and put them in with narratives. It's going to take me a couple hours to get this report done. Very bad situation. Obstructed areas, very limited inspection. The conditions were not. I think anybody else would have just left, and I wouldn't even know if it would be habitable. Very poor. I still got the smell. Yeah, I don't know if the smell is in my nose or if it's just mentally ingrained in my nose. It was so bad. And I took my Bath and Body Works Sunshine and Lemons antibacterial and sanitizer, and I washed my arms and my face and everything until I could get home. Yeah. So the past couple days been pretty mentally challenging, and then I drove out to Clayton, North Carolina, which is about an hour and 30 something minutes from where we live, and it was 2 hours from where I left the air quality test today. So pretty long day on driving, a lot of driving today, and just mentally wanting to get in here, take a shower, do my reports, and be done and get ready for tomorrow. Heading out of town Thursday with Vanessa, and excited about that. Her birthday weekend. Going to go to Gatlinburg, do some horseback riding, do some dinner shows, and just chill out and love on my wife, who I take for granted sometimes, and I just appreciate all she does for me and the person she is, the person I pray to God for, that he yeah, he blessed me. He definitely blessed me with the greatest one I could ever ask for. Truly. So anyway, going to get in here and get to work, man. I got a lot ahead of me today, and if you guys need a home inspection, we're booked for this week, and we're into next week. So if you got anything, give us a call, 336-989-8185, HomeTechNC.com, 336-989-8185, HomeTechNC.com. I think that's about it. One last thing I will say, maybe I shouldn't say, but that buyer from the inspection yesterday kept talking about the other inspector, and kept talking. So my mind was just, my wheels were turning, and I couldn't really focus a lot. So there was a couple things that she said. One, that he was very rude, he was very pompous, he was very arrogant, and he yelled at her. And that they chose this person because they offered a 200% guarantee, which did not happen. She said there was small print. She found out afterwards, talking to him, that you have to file a claim or a dispute or whatever within 48 hours, and that he sent the report to the seller before he sent the buyer the report. That the seller got the report before the buyer who paid for it got the report. This is hearsay. This is a conversation, and when she said those things about being arrogant and condescending and everything, I said a name because I've heard multiple agents say similar things about somebody, and I said a name, and she said yes, and I said okay, and I said I'm going to focus on my inspection. I've heard that. I told her I've heard that name multiple times, and that's all I'm gonna leave it at that. I can't speak ill of that person. I can't speak down about that person. I can't speak in a negative contents about that person. And so my take is, when you hear things consistently over and over, that it must be true, especially with seasoned agents out here that know this inspector. And I've heard the same thing, and I don't even know how the name got brought up. Maybe in a conversation, yeah, I used to use so and so, do you know him, or whatever. Well, okay, I listen, I take it in, but I don't get back out, you know. It's just a big liability. But anyway, need a home inspection, 336-989-8185, HomeTechNC.com. And again, I'm not you know, I don't know how to say it. I miss things. I'm human. I'm not saying that I'm not going to miss a thing, that the situation couldn't happen to me, but I'm not going to talk down to my buyers or anyone. I'm going to find a professional resolution to satisfy the client 1,100%, whether it's giving them their money back or whatever. If it's something that, you know, that makes a lot of sense, doing my due diligence of myself, or having a non-biased contractor to evaluate and confirm something, I'm going to do my work. I'm not just going to stay here, go away, because there's people out there that will try to scam you, con you, and you know, it happens. And I've had people do it before. I've got one guy now, he didn't pay me, owes me $410 for an inspection I done. He was a tenant occupied property, and he decided he wasn't going to purchase. I went over the complete summary with him. He was going to pay online once I uploaded the report. He never did. And I've sent letters, I've sent emails. He's done moved, he's gone, he's out of state, can't find him. So yeah, you don't ever know. That's why I'm changing my policy to get paid before the inspection, or before I go over the summary completely, 100%, protecting myself. This is my livelihood. I've got a family to support, and I hope people understand that. This is not some big corporation who makes millions of dollars. I've got bills, I've got liabilities just like anybody else, and I would consider it fraud to have somebody perform a service and not pay you. But anyway, it is what it is. It's part of the industry, part of the business, part of being self-employed. It happens. Anyway, guys, 336-989-8185, HomeTechNC.com. Thank you guys for listening to my videos and giving me your feedback and stuff. If there's a video on something you want me to do, I will gladly do it. I've got coming up about a home inspection, things to look for. I'm going to do a visual one if I can find an agent that will allow me to go on a vacant property to video some things, some findings, and, you know, incorporate some stuff into that video to show you some things and give my interpretation on some stuff. But anyway, knowledge is everything, and communication is everything in this business. So anyway, guys, 336-989-8185, HomeTechNC.com.